have quorum when you're ready.
Okay.
Chair.
All right, we'll go ahead and start the meeting. All right, first, stand the pledge.
Roll call first.
Roll call. All right, Campbell, Commissioner.
I'll call the roll.
Okay, you're gonna call the roll. Sorry. A little discombobulated.
Chair Lorene,
Here.
Vice Chair Bromfield,
Here.
Board Member Rich,
Yes, here.
Board Member Strom, Board Member Massing,
Here.
Board Member Mathers, Board Member Vitale.
Here. Now, stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Rich, we are now going to swear you back into this board. You could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, honor, protect,
that I will support, honor, protect,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
and government of the United
and
States
government of the United States
and the state of Florida,
and the state of Florida,
and that I am duly qualified
and that I am duly qualified
to hold office under the Constitution
to hold office under the Constitution
of the state of Florida
of the state of Florida
and under the charter of the city of Stuart,
and under the charter of the city of Stuart,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
and that I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of a member of the city of Stuart
the duties of a member of the city of Stuart
Local Planning Agency,
Local Planning Agency,
on which I am about to enter.
on which I am about to enter.
I so affirm.
I so affirm.
And if you could give me your John Hancock, congratulations. There you go. Very done. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. Everybody received the minutes from the last meeting? Any discussion?
Move approve.
A second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Great. Fantastic. All righty. Anybody have a motion to approve the agenda set forth tonight?
All motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, great. Do we have any comments from the public on non-agenda items? We have no public. Do we have any public online? Fantastic. Okay. Comments from the board members on non-agenda items? All right, great. Item number 1, please.
Panal Gandhi Savda, CRA Administrator for the record. This item is coming before you because the city's land development code has a regulation on pole signs that all have to be removed by January 1st, 2022. This item was initially brought to the City Commission because that time is approaching soon for direction to staff whether we want to remove the deadline or provide additional regulations. The City Commission did direct staff to come up with regulations to help accelerate the removal of the pole signs. When we did the wind chill survey back in 2016, we identified about 290 pole signs. About 90 pole signs have been removed or replaced. There are about 190 pole signs still remaining, but we continue to see reduction over the years. So the new regulations read that to have all abandoned or damaged non-conforming pole signs within the city of Stuart removed in an expeditious manner. So if we have any damaged non-conforming sign that requires a permit to be repaired, shall be removed within 90 days of the written notice from the city of Stuart. And if we have any abandoned non-conforming pole signs pertaining to any businesses that are no longer operating and they've been closed for 180 days or longer, they'll be required to remove those pole signs with a written notice from the city of Stuart. So These two regulations are put in place to help expedite the removal of pole signs. So today, staff is asking for approval of ordinance number 2469-2021.
Thank you very much. Are there any public comments? Any public comments online? Any board comments?
Just one question. So pole signs in the city of Stewart are prohibited?
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
No new pole signs will be issued.
Right. It's just the deadline. to
Right.
remove.
Everybody to incur the expense of tearing them down by a specific date and buy a new sign.
Understood.
And that causes an uprising. So it's more of attrition.
With that said, I'd move approval.
Any other comments?
Well, my only comment would be, creating ordinances that the city ignores seems to set a bad precedent. So I don't know what happened with it originally. I
can't-
certainly share the commissioner's concern that it is not an insubstantial expense to impose upon these business owners, and they wanted to, accommodate them to as great a degree as possible, but
Mike
it
Portelli.
just strikes me as
Yeah.
odd.
I can give you some brief history. So when Jeff Kroskoff was a commissioner, there was a presentation, and I think they used Clearwater, Florida, and showed before and after pictures of lots of signs and then landscaping without signs. And an ordinance was passed that had a grandfathering clause, and I think the grandfathering clause was originally 2008 or maybe 2009. And as we know now, in 2007, late, the banking industry in the United States took a collapse, and then mortgage-backed securities failed, and then most homes failed, and then foreclosures hit. And when it came in, we were in the height of the biggest recession since we've been in, since 1929. And as a result, the commission decided it was probably not a good idea to put these guys out of business over the sign. So at the time, they extended it, I believe it was 10 years or something, to, let's make sure we're not here kind of thing. Moved it out to 2018 or 19, and then it got extended again by 24 months, I believe is what it was, and that's where we are now. And basically what's happened is, when you do, like, as Pinnell mentioned, when you do the windshield study and you go and we have a list and we've got them mapped and we know where they are, we see that there is a steady progression of these signs going away with either they need to be replaced but we won't give permits, or they get blown down, or they're remodeling, or whatever the case might be. But they have been progressively going away. And so the consensus was, well, rather than causing a hardship on these smaller businesses, because that's all they are, it's not Home Depot, it's the little guys that it is affecting, and to take a pole sign down and put a new monument sign up. The new monument signs are between $10,000 and $15,000 all day long. So it's a real big hit to the folks to do it. And when we started moving forward with it before and sent out letters and notices, a lot of people said, I can't do it. And so maybe they were telling the truth, maybe they weren't. I think the consensus was simply that, look, this grandfathering concept does seem to work. When the commission first passed the ordinance, they didn't have the benefit of time. They didn't know if 100% of those signs would still be standing at the end, and therefore it was more of a, let's see if we can scare these people into doing it if they think it's coming and everybody's noticed. And the city sent out certified mail to every single pole sign owner and said, here's your deadline. And then 2 years before, here's your deadline. And they simply were like, look, I'm not doing it. And so I think it was more of a, okay, well, let's be reasonable about it. We'll let them attrition. But as Mr. Massing pointed out, if their pole sign breaks, or if they want to repair the lights, or whatever it might be, we don't issue permits for the pole signs to force them to
No,
sort
I
of go out of
understand
business.
how it works, though. My point was
Hey,
more
I
general.
I have a quick question. What is the penalty if they don't concur by the date?
Well, we've never gotten there.
Okay.
But it would have been a code enforcement,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
if they got there, the city would have noticed every single pole sign. You have 14 days to come in compliance, and then the next following Monday night, the room would have been filled with angry residents. But if they weren't, it would have been probably $100 a day
Oh.
until they were in compliance. So it would have been pretty, it could have been up to $250, $300 a day, depending on the circumstances, but I don't think I've ever seen it go 100 a day. So it would have been pretty significant.
Okay. Do Do we have any other comments?
I had a business with a offending pole sign, and it would have like bankrupted us had we had to, you know,
I mean, that's a
replace
big
it. So I feel what you're saying, Campbell, about it. You know, we've got to sort of stick to what we say, but also I think like having room to be like, well, maybe that was a little extreme. Is, you know, we want flexible, active government, and I think getting rid of this is a good thing for small businesses.
No, I totally agree. I just maybe anticipate better the onus such a requirement would have put on the business owner and understand what the city was willing to tolerate. That's all I'm saying.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay.
Yeah.
The request to continue the item with no set date. Does anybody want to comment?
Good afternoon, LPA Board. So the Silverthorne project was continued to a certain date at the last meeting. This time, we're not continuing it to a certain date because we haven't gotten any information regarding the Upland Preserve since our last meeting. So if we don't have it, we don't know when they'll be back. So that's the reason for no certain date.
Okay. Does anybody have any comments? Anybody want to make a motion for us to move this, table it until whenever they get their stuff ready?
When they come back, we'll re-advertise and schedule it on the agenda.
Okay. Do we need to make ask public comment on that if we're moving something?
I mean,
I wouldn't think so.
it's still an item, so I believe you do.
Okay. Public comment? Comment online. Great. And we had.
So moved, yes.
So moved. Second?
Sure.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Great. Okay, and do we have any staff updates?
I'll give you a quick one, just so you know, since this was the board that heard the Costco case, the Canner PUD case. Commission passed it after the second reading, as you probably knew. A case was filed in September, Marbury versus the City of Stewart is the title. It is a challenge of the future land use of special neighborhood district. It will be heard in this room on November 15th, 16th, and 17th. It is not an appeal, so they don't use the record from the underlying case. They actually, it's a trial.
Okay.
The petitioner will be putting on witnesses, including experts, that are going to testify that the city did not use accurate data and proper analysis when determining the future land use of special neighborhood district. And the city plans to put on evidence that it, in fact, did comply with all the regulations, did use data, and probably overkill, I suspect, will be demonstrated. But that'll happen on 15th, 16th, and 17th if you have absolutely nothing else to do but want to be entertained.
And so, and I think we asked this at the last meeting. Can we be called as witnesses in this, or would we have been notified, or?
We filed the witness list on both sides last week.
Okay.
And you could have been probably, but you weren't.
Oh, okay.
You know, you were listed.
And then who is the judge that makes the decision?
Who hears it?
I don't remember her name, but it's an administrative judge that's
Okay.
in Tallahassee that travels here.
Okay.
We normally have, the local administrative judge that would normally handle this area is a guy by the name of Robert Kilbride. But he actually did work as a city attorney for the city of Stewart, so he would have a conflict. So
Okay.
it's a woman from Tallahassee. I don't know her, I've never met her. She's been there a while, and I'm sure she has a lot of experience.
Okay.
It's just one person, not a panel?
It's not an appeal, it's just one.
No,
judge.
it's not a panel?
No,
It's just the one judge.
One administrative judge.
Wow.
And the burden of proof is that the city has to demonstrate that that the future land use amendment is obviously presented with analysis and data, and that the commission, that the presentation of evidence met a fairly debatable was there a basis for this ruling?
Okay.
And there was, and ironically, their big issue is density. And if you look at the land uses that were alternative to it, it would have been commercial or multifamily. And under our commercial and multifamily uses, the comp plan allows you to go up to 30 units an acre. And because the development director was aware that there were probably going to be people concerned about the densities, he chose a land use that did not allow you to go over 15 units. So ironically, if they were to get it switched to commercial, so to speak, it would then allow 30. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Okay, all right. Does anybody else have any other questions? Okay, I think that is all, correct? Do we have anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay. I just want to make sure there was nothing else before I did that. I will make a motion to adjourn. Anybody, or no, I can't make the motion. Somebody else make a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Nope. We're done.
Minutes?